Hello and welcome back. I'm DMAC and today I'm going to look at picking this dimple block. So this is an Avocet ABS 3-star British standard. Nice kind of square keyway, no warding in this one. But if we look at the key, we've got some trickery there, haven't we? So we've got these 5 pins or 5 chambers. Pin 3 is magnetic, so we're going to have to deal with that one. And if you look at the other cuts, they look a bit odd as well, and that's because if I get my pick, you can see the pin there. And if I just push him down, there you go, you've got an inner pin inside. Just see that there. So we've got pinning pins and a magnetic pin to deal with as well. So let's see if we can get him picked and peek inside, because these pins are really, really nice to look at. So get him set up here. And we'll zoom you in a bit as well. So I've got my little magnet just there, and I've got a mark on my pick which should help me place him in there. There you go, he's not on the pick, so he's inside doing what he needs to be doing, hopefully. We want him to kind of stay on that pin for now. So I'm just going to try and pick these outer pins, and then hopefully we'll get to a point where we get a little bit of movement on the core, which might have been then, and that tells me we just need to tickle that magnetic pin. There we go, we've got a little bit of movement there. So that magnetic pin is pulling the pin down, but he doesn't pull him all the way down. So I've just got to slide this pick in and just touch the bottom of the pin and just sort of give it a little bit of a tap down, hopefully. Right. Definitely, oh no, he's come off. Just going to leave him there for a minute. Just make sure that these outers are in fact picked. Yeah, I think they are now, so let's get that magnet back on the pick. Difficult to do without losing tension. Okay. Right, we're still not gone into a nice deep full set, which is what I'm looking for. Oh, there we go. It's not open yet. So we just dropped into that full set. I touched that magnetic pin. And now I know that magnetic pin's picked, all the outers are picked, so all we need to do now is get the inners. And I found that the inner pins it's easy to pick those as you're kind of picking the outers inadvertently. They do tend to just set, so we'll give everything a little bit of a nudge. There we go. And we got him open. Fantastic. Let's zoom you out. We've got to try and retrieve that magnet. I might leave him in there for now. And we can get him gutted and see all the goodies that are inside. So let's just adjust this a little bit. Grab a pinning tray. So I think I'm going to lock him back up. Use this to get that C-clip off. When I first got this lock, I did progressively pin it. And you see the magnet stopping that from going in there, so I've got to retrieve that magnet if I can, which is sometimes easy and sometimes not. Come on, where are you? There we go, so we've got that little magnet out. Yeah, when I first got this, I did progressively pin it, and yeah, first time I saw all these pins, I was really impressed with them. because you've got the pin-in pins, drivers and key pins, you've got a lot of springs going on in there as well. Grab the follower. There we go, and you can see all those key pins there. I'm just dropping a ball bearing. I've got a little ball bearing in the spring. Get them out with a magnet. Yeah, that little spring just sits in there. I think all that does is gives you a nice positive location for the plug as you turn it. So as I pull this key out, that magnetic pin wants to pop out. You just see him sat there, because he's got his own little spring in there as well. So dump all of these out. I'll try and tidy him up for you so you can have a look. I want to do a kind of a neat job on this, because there's quite a lot to fit into into these recesses. So you can just see the middle pin there where the magnetic pin sits has got this little bush which is inset into the plug, and that just stays there to hold that magnetic pin. So up top, got some fun going on up here. As you can see, we've got two springs. One's the outer one that I'm holding is for the outer pins, and then you've got this little one inside, and you go for the inner pins. Same again on that one, outer spring and inner spring. The magnetic one is slightly different, because you've only got the one outer, there you go, and he's slightly different. And that magnetic pin, when he's sitting upright in the lock, I'll just try and get you in focus, kind of sits into that little recess just there, and that's what locks that particular pin in place. Let's go through the back for the last two. Same story again here, we've got the outer pin, and the outer spring and the inner spring. Same again there, let's just separate these two. Nothing else going on inside there. So I'll just give you a quick close-up of this. So there we've got that's the key pins there, so you've got the outer pin there, and the inner pin which just sits on the top, and that wider section there stops it falling all the way through. And then that spring, that pin there and that spring is what sits on the outer pin, and the inner pin and spring sits on the inner one. And they're all the same, it's just this magnetic element there. I'll show you that in action actually in just a sec. So that's the magnetic pin, that's the spring which sits in the plug, and then that's the one that sits up in the Bible. Slightly different to those, but does the same thing, except that it's not hollow. It's actually, oh, dropped him there. Yeah, it's not hollow, it's blocked off on one end. I'm just going to drop that magnetic one into the plug if I can. So you've got that little spring sits in there. And then, yeah, so when it's at rest, that pin is stopping the plug from turning along with all the other pins. If I grab our little magnet, just bear with me. The little magnet is still stuck on this spring. There he is. So that's a little magnet. Get in focus. That's a little magnet that we used to pick him. And I can try and show you what goes on. So we slide him into our mark there, and you can see there, is on the pin. So the magnet, which is just there, is on that pin, but as you can see that pin's not fully down. I think that's what threw me off with this lock when I was first picking it. I managed to pick it without the magnetic element, and as soon as I put that back in, it kind of started causing problems. I think I had to take it apart again, look at it again, and just realise, I think I assumed that because I put that magnet on that pin, that it would pull it all the way down, but of course it doesn't. So what you've got to do at some point when you've picked all the outer key pins is slide your pick in there, and you can see there the pick just pulls that pin down, and that means we can get him picked. So there we go, that's all those lovely pins. Really fun lock to play with, this one. This is actually half of the euro. I have got the other half, which is that one there, and the reason I didn't pick this one is you can just see that it has these 3 pins either side of the Bible there, and they're trap pins. So I think if we just look at those ones on that side, as soon as you turn it just a few degrees, which is as soon as you get it open, just see them moving there, those trap pins, they will fire into chambers 1, chambers 3 and chambers 5, and then you've got to pick out of those. So if you were to pick it and to do a full 360, you would, I think they would, I don't know if they'd engage on the bottom as well. You might have to pick each set twice. I know you do on the pin tumbler versions that I've picked. They've got trap pins. I didn't quite fancy doing that. I've never gutted a lock that has got these trap pins in them, so I'm not quite sure of the mechanism. But since I've got this side picked, I'll probably go ahead and try and pick this one and see if I can pick out of those trap pins. But that's a video for another day. Anyway, that was the ABS Avocet with the pinning pins and the magnetic pin. Thanks a lot for watching. Stay safe, and bye for now.